this computer. Okay, you're on.
Hi, Vance. Nice to meet you, by the way. So feel free, both of you, June, Vance, Al. Al's on the foundation now as well. And feel free to interrupt and ask what you want to ask. I'd rather know what you want to know than or be able to talk about the things that you want to know about the foundation. The MD19 Foundation was founded in 2003. It was started by a bequest of $617,000. And we've been able to invest those funds. And we currently have a fund balance of about $1.4 million. We do have an introductory video that was prepared by our marketing director, who is past council chair John Curie. And if I can remember how to do this, I will. No, stop screen sharing. I will hook this up and we can look at the video. Well, Al, it looks like they've changed that on me too. Where am I supposed to go?
Well, good. First, you have the video queued up.
It
And
is here. Yeah, it's queued up.
okay, then you go to the share and you select the window that has the video and then click on share.
Unfortunately, it's not giving me that option.
Hosting abilities?
It says this will stop everybody's screen sharing.
Oh, that's because, I'm sorry. I apologize. I am sharing and I have to stop mine before you can start yours.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Did we do that?
Yeah.
Now it's giving me the option. There we go. Finally. So you should see
No.
a little black screen, right?
No.
You seen anything?
We see your face.
And my face and Vance's face.
Allow Zoom to share your screen. Yes, okay, I have a system setting. Unbelievable.
What was that we were talking about earlier? Preparation?
You do it every night, Al. Give him a break.
My goodness.
Troublemaker. He better go back to his yarn unraveling.
Okay, desktop. Quick time player. Ready?
Yeah.
Here goes.
There, what goes? Well, I'm impressed. I don't see or hear a thing.
Well, sort that out. Anybody made it to the spring conference in Sydney, BC?
I did not, no.
I was looking for to see that, Al.
I was at a convention down in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Is the QuickTime video playing right now?
No, always see his faces.
Yeah, JD, can you hear us? JD can't hear us.
That's it.
What's what? We couldn't hear or see a thing.
You didn't see or hear a thing.
Nope.
That's fascinating.
There we go.
How now?
Black screen.
Black screen.
There
Hey.
you go.
You ready? We'll try it again.
Yeah. Now, was there audio attached to that?
All right.
Was there audio attached to that?
Oh my goodness, you did get audio?
No, no.
No.
Of course,
You
we
know,
were able to read everything, so. Yeah.
It was music. It's just music.
Oh, okay. All right.
It
But
was like going back to first grade and like doing that reader as the letters disappeared on.
all right, I'm going to stop the share. You know,
Okay.
when John sent this over to us and tried to display this at our foundation meeting too, he could never get the sound to come through. So I don't know if there's something embedded in the video or what's going on. That's
Oh, he was using a Mac.
I'm using a Mac.
Well, but he was using a Mac to create it. That's what the problem was.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a little troublesome. I usually don't have trouble with these things. But okay. So
Okay.
we'll go over basically what is in the video, and it's maybe a good thing that the music didn't come through because I couldn't hear a thing other than the music. It's very loud. So anyway, this is a video that is available. So let's go through some of this stuff. As I said, we started with a $617,000 donation, a bequest, a testamentary bequest back in 2003, and there's about $1,400,000 in the foundation now. And that's so we were able to have that $1,400,000 in the foundation, even though we've given away over $500,000 in grants over the years. And through the growth of the investment fund and some outside investments and donations that have happened since that time. Um, the MD19 Lions Foundation is formerly known as the Multiple District 19 Service and Leadership Development Foundation, but that name was changed a few years ago because nobody could even figure out an acronym to use that would make any sense that people could find this thing. And in many respects, it's often confused with the Northwest Lions Foundation, but it's a completely different foundation and has completely different purposes and has been underutilized in the multiple district, to be honest with you, and through the districts, probably because there's a lot of confusion about what it is. Yeah, as I said, it's a 501c3 charitable organization. And that means that in the end, people who donate to the foundation are able to take tax write-offs here in the United States for what they donate. Canada, it's a little bit different, but donations from Canadians may be deductible up to 75% of their net worth income or their world income, but it's a complicated thing. So I don't try to give Canadian tax. I don't try to give U.S. tax advice, let alone Canadian tax advice. But there is some available deductions through Canadian taxing. We're a private foundation, which means that we are pretty much obligated to distribute 5% of our net asset worth every year annually, 5% of what the previous year's asset obligation was. And if we don't do that, then the foundation is taxed under the US, the United States, for the difference between that 5%, what that 5% would be, and what we actually did distribute. So we'll lose the money instead of giving it away. So we're very, very interested in making sure that the money goes to the causes of the foundation and the purpose of the foundation rather than the United States Internal Revenue Service. There's really no reason to just send money to them when we can send it to needy causes in the development of leadership and service throughout the multiple district. The foundation is governed by 22 people on the board of directors, board of trustees. We have a president. That president this year is Brian Patton, past district governor Brian Patton. Presidents serve 1-year term. They're elected to the board each year, but they get 1-year term and they're done. And I'm the immediate past president. You get 1 year and we're done. The vice president also serves a 1-year term. They're elected annually, and they're elected by the board of directors, board of trustees as well. We have a secretary. They get a 2-year term, and they get to have, they're limited to 2 consecutive terms. And a treasurer also gets 2-year term, and he or she is limited to 2-year term. Our secretary is past district governor Marilyn Danby. Treasurer is past council chair John Whitman out of Pullman. We also have 2 representatives from each district in the multiple district 19. They're all elected for 2-year terms. And these 2-year terms are staggered. They elect one in even years and another one in odd years. They're elected by their respective districts, and the different districts are doing that differently. Some are doing it at cabinet meetings. Some are doing formal elections at their conventions. It doesn't matter to the foundation as long as the districts are happy with how they are selecting their representatives. So we do have 22. We have one vacant position on the board right now. That's in District L. That's Cyrus. Who have we got? Who are we missing? We have,
Cyrus Lee.
yeah, Cyrus Lee's. We're missing. Cyrus Lee's term has expired, so we're missing one representative for District L.
I
And
nominate Vance Wu.
you got Vance Wu?
Oh,
Okay. So that's some, if somebody's interested, pass the word around, tell them to contact their district governor and you see if they can get appointed or selected or elected, however the district wants to do that, as a trustee for a 2-year term. It's a good job. We also have a marketing chair, and again, a 2-year term. Then the marketing chair is selected by the board. A financial chair, and that position is now currently open. A financial chairperson is our financial advisor, which is kind of a duplicate job, not really a duplicate job, but because we do have an investment advisor who handles the investments for the foundation. But the financial advisor kind of watches over that and explains to us whatever it is that the investment guy is trying to explain to us. We have the Northwest Lions Leadership Institute superintendent, and they will serve up to a 2-year term, depending on what the schedule is for the Northwest Lions Leadership Institutes. The Multiple District 19 seated council chair, the immediate past council chair, and the GLT and the GST for the multiple district have seats on the board of trustees as well. That's pretty much it. All of the elected trustees serve on a calendar year basis. We go from January 1 through December 31 and try to do our elections in December each year. We do have an executive board. Those are the officers: president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and the immediate past president. Just like all of our Lions boards, I guess, the trustees and the officers serve without compensation. Nobody gets paid. There are reimbursements for travel and expenses and those kinds of things, and mileage. And if people are out doing business for the foundation, going to clubs and doing presentations at districts or zones or even clubs, yeah, there'll be reimbursements available to them for the mileage and cost of having to do that. We have 4 board meetings annually, basically quarterly, one live one for sure, and that's always at the annual convention. We always have a board meeting at the annual convention. So that'll be coming up here next month. And as I said, we have 2 board vacancies at this time. Cyrus Lee's position in District 19L is open, and the financial advisor. And if people, what we're trying to do with a financial advisor is they're somebody who is, schooled in investments and those kinds of things, so they can explain what the stock market is doing or what our investments are doing in a way that, be careful, take care that the investment advisor is doing the thing and report back to the district. So anybody within the multiple district who has that kind of experience, we'd love to hear from them and see if they want to be on the board. They don't have to be a Lion, strangely. The financial advisor does not have to be a Lion. Obviously, the district representatives have to be Lions, but the investment advisor does not have to do that. In 2024, we gave out $62,000 worth of grants to various places, which was actually fairly high for us. As I've said, it hasn't been utilized perhaps as much as it should be over the years past. Grants include things, I'll pull up the list here, it's like, youth exchange program. We gave an international grant to help fund the international camp. We gave money to the district and zone officer training for multiple district 19. We gave a grant to the Heart of the Lion project for District 19-0. We gave funding to the ECH science team presentation out of the Asotan Lions Club. This was those of you who went to the convention saw the underwater robotics team from the Asotan Lions Club helped sponsor that. We gave them grants so they could attend their competitions and do their work. We gave money back to or offered paybacks or stipends to people who attended the Advanced Lions Leadership Institutes that wasn't covered by the Advanced Lions Leadership Institute. We've given grants to several school districts for various projects, things like the Professional Learning Committee at the Pateros School District up in Chelan County, the Future Business Leaders of American Conference to send students to that. We sent students to North Central Washington Educational Service District Leadership Summit. District O had a Lions Giving Library where they purchase Spanish language books and give them to every Spanish speaking student in that school district. All kinds of different things. Alpine Lakes, Destination Imagination, Alpine Lakes, again, up in the Chelan County area, where they created this project called Destination Imagination. June has a question.
Yeah, my granddaughter is the representative for the Franklin Pierce School District here in town. And they are trying to, someone in that group, she's, I don't know what group that's doing it, but there's been like 8 kids almost killed by cars, and they're trying to put in a sidewalk. Is that it's unincorporated Pierce County though, but there's no sidewalk. So the high school kids are walking like feet from the street.
Well, that's a good question. I'm trying to see how that fits into service and leadership development, but perhaps I would frame it if I were to try to file an application in terms of maybe the student body trying to develop a program to put in a sidewalk, and they're taking the leadership to do that.
It is one of the leadership groups. I don't know which one it is, but she's definitely going to be a politician. She's a junior in high school at the moment. Yeah, but they're trying to raise money to get I don't know. I just call it Pierce County. They're trying to make a Pierce County get attention, pay attention,
Right.
because there's no sidewalks, and these are high school kids. They're not crossing the street. They're just walking,
Yeah.
on that side of the street, and so they're trying to raise money to get. If Pierce County won't help them, they're trying to raise money to get a sidewalk.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
we'll talk.
across the street, there's a big ditch.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about how the application process works here in a second. And, what's the worst thing that can happen is it gets turned down. So, I mean, people ask me, what can I do? Can I submit an application? And my stock answer is submit an application. The money is there to use, and we have purposes to use it. We can't use it for things that outside our purposes, but there may be a way to fit that in. And up in your district, up in our district, our two in District N, our two representatives are Al Hedstrom. You know who he is? And Mark Manzel. And Al just came on the board, so he'll be there for 2 years. Mark comes off in January, in this coming end of December. So then we'll have somebody who will be new. Vance, you're in District L, so your particular trustee is, who do we have as your trustee in District L?
Would it be? I would
It's
say if not Cyrus, then I don't know.
Lauren Bunyan.
Don't know the name. Never heard.
Yeah,
of that.
Cyrus's term is gone. Cyrus's term is expired. He'll still be on the roster until we find a replacement. But technically, we have an opening for Cyrus's position, and Lauren Bunyan is your other one.
Okay. What club is Lauren? Sorry, that individual. What club is that person?
Hang on a second. Let me turn up some sound. I'm not hearing you.
Yeah.
What club?
I don't.
Coach, Try again.
What
Well,
club is that person in?
Lauren Bundy.
Lauren is in Salt Spring Island.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He may still be in Ladysmith, but he's either Ladysmith or Salt Spring Island. Okay. All right, let's go through the grants a little bit. I guess that was a good time to raise your hand, June. All grants start with a grant application, and all of these things are on the website. I thought we would kind of go through this stuff first, and then right at the end, I'll share my screen and we'll take a quick look at the website to show you where everything is. And if all you do is you fill out this application form, forms in a PDF or a Microsoft Word document, just download it from the website, fill that out, send it in to the treasurer, that's John Whitman and Pullman. The address instructions are all on the form so that you can't lose them. And then that goes through a grant review committee in the foundation. They make a recommendation to the board, and the board will make a final decision on the grant. Grant applications are supposed to come in 90 or more days before the project or the funding is needed. There is a fast track process if you get inside of that 90 days, but that requires a $200 fee to cover certain kinds of expenses. And we have done a couple of grants and have been able to get those done within the 90 days. But technically, all these grant applications are passed at board meetings, and so they either have to call a special board meeting if we don't have the time, or we wait until the quarter ends and have it at our quarterly meeting. But that's how the process works. And then once it's granted, treasurer cuts a check, and it usually takes a week or so to get the money out of the stock market and passed on to the recipients. I encourage you to involve your district representative or one of them in the grant application process if you have a grant that you want, because they kind of become your grant mentor in that process, and they can help you with the getting any questions answered or getting it in, and they become a resource to the grant review committee if they have questions. So they'll contact the district representative, and district representative will contact the grant applicant and say, hey, we don't understand this, or whatever the questions are. They will be able to channel that through you. And I think that the grant people, the district representatives are the people to talk to on that. That seems to work the best. There are kind of 2 or 3 keys to the process. One is a nice description of the thing. The application form is a fill in the blank form. And then we need a description of what's going on, what it is, and a budget. It's pretty simple. Put the budget together. Even if you don't know exactly what it is, what are the sources of funding? Are there other sources of funding? Is the group doing things, putting in sweat equity on the thing, or are they raising other funds? How is this all coming together? We have different kinds of grants. I think we've got like 4 different kinds of grants right now, and we do grants or loans. They can do both. You can also ask for a loan, which is the same thing as a grant, except you got to pay it back, right? So maybe you're working on something and you got funding coming in, but it isn't here yet, and you may want to get an advance on that sort of thing. We can handle that sort of thing too. The same application process that is done. The first category of grants deal with scientific, educational, or charitable leadership development. Very, very focused on leadership development. The second kind of grant is the development and implementation. I actually have to read this. It's too complicated. Development and implementation of public relations outreach that promotes positive community involvement in leadership skill development. And I read it because that's what it says on the website. And so I know that you're going to be able to look at it there. Okay. Third one is we do tuition grants to the Northwest Lions Leadership Institute. The Northwest Lions Institute was actually started. It was a program through Multiple District 19's Lions Foundation. It isn't a standalone organization or entity. We fund it. It's just kind of a group through the Northwest Lions Foundation. Used to be in cooperation with District 360, and we would alternate years between MD19 and MD36 to hold these trainings. That broke down about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's just all been up here now. Although I guess our next Northwest Lions Leadership Institute has a number of people from District 36 who are finally coming back up. So we'll see how that evolves over the years. But we do scholarships for anybody who wants one and who attends the Northwest Lions Leadership Institute. We also do scholarships. We do we do tuition grants to the Northwest Lions Leadership Institute. We also do what are called service project grants. And so if there's a person who has graduated from the Northwest Lions Leadership Institute, comes up with a service project through their club, we'll give the club up to $500 to cover the costs or contribute to the cost of that service project because of the graduation from the Northwest Lions Leadership Institute. Now, does that make sense? Do the grant applications make sense?
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
focused on service and leadership development and how you.
Okay, this one with the Northwest Lions Leadership Graduate, does it have to be the year they graduate, or like the people that go in May have to do it within so long, or
I think
can
they
it be
have a year after they graduate to do the grant, to get the grant to the club. Yeah.
been a little longer than that?
Could the grant be involved, say, public speaking for an individual?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it can be. You bet. Okay. There are different ways you can help the foundation. Obviously, the foundation does take donations, cash, stock, bequests, life insurance. But you can also volunteer your time with the foundation. It will occasionally it hasn't done any in recent years, but it will occasionally do fundraising activities. Remember the ties and the scarves, the Lions ties and the scarves? That was the Multiple District 19 Lions Foundation. That was a fundraising through them. And we haven't done that in a while. We also usually we'll set up a table at the USA Canada Lions Leadership Forum. That's been kind of a tradition. So we need to have personnel be there to man the table or whatever it is that we do. We like to have people out at each of the conventions for the districts, and so that we can pass out the information, and always looking for volunteers who want to sit at the table for a while or maybe pass the word along to all of our Lions that we do have this wonderful chunk of money that we really do want to spend on appropriate things. All right, let's hit the website. We're going to try again here. The website is located at www.md19lionsfoundation.org. Okay, where is it on here? I don't want the entire screen. I want there we go. Got it?
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So this is the homepage for the Northwest Lions Foundation. And this contains, just kind of like the Multiple District 19 website, basically upcoming events and a little bit of information about the purposes and all of the mission statements and all that sort of stuff are here on our opening page. And we have this wonderful, wonderful screen. And if you go down to the bottom of the page and click on the copyright thing, this is what we get. I hope you can read this.
So who came up with that? John Kerry?
No, it would happen to be yours truly.
Oh,
I can read it later. I can't see it right now.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that. So that is, in any event, and that actually works on any page. It's just a little Easter egg for anybody looking at the foundation page.
yeah.
Background information about the foundation, hopefully confirming what I've been talking about tonight, is on the About page. And some of the programs we've done in the past. At the very bottom, I noticed that we talk about one of the things we were supporting was the creation of an MD19 youth band that would travel with the multiple district to the annual convention for Lions International and other events. And that kind of went away. I think that COVID got our band director, and we have not heard about that for a while. But we had pledged $23,000 to help support and build that MB19 youth band. That may come back. We'll see. There's a page on the grants. This is where you go to find the grant applications and information about the grants. Grant applications are right. Hopefully you can see my cursor right there. And where you send in the grant application forms once they've been completed. There's a page for how you can support the foundation, how stock is donated, those kinds of things, other kinds of donations that can be made. My favorite is this assignment of life insurance benefits. If any of you do you ever get those things like from the credit union or a bank or AAA or something that says, here, we're giving you a $5,000 life or $10,000 life insurance policy, and we want you to sign up for more. That's why they send it to you, but you get it free, right? So if you get those, what I do when I get those is I go ahead and sign up for them, and I make the beneficiary either the foundation or LCIF. So I don't need the 10 grand if if I have to use the life insurance policy. So
Right, yeah.
hopefully they'll start getting those in about 30 years. Okay, we've got the page on the directors. Here's the email contact information for each of the members of the Board of Trustees. We also post our foundation documents, a certificate of incorporation, bylaws, policy manual, so everybody can look at that stuff, and it isn't a big secret on what's going on. All that's there in big print. Frequently asked questions about the foundation or how you can do things. That's where you can point people for more information, and then a contact page. And again, these are the contacts for the various people who are related to the foundation, how to send in a grant application, board of directors, multiple district 19, and those kinds of things. That's what I've got basically tonight. I hope that anybody have questions?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm thinking of the one of the major barriers for a lot of folks not stepping into leadership positions is the cost. I'm thinking, does the foundation, me being the new guy there, I don't know the answer to these questions. Is there a thought? Is there a standard procedure? Is there a standard that we could help those folks that are either entering into leadership positions or are in, and help them out for going to the Lions USA Canada Forum, to going to different conventions other than their own district convention, things like that, other opportunities where they can expand and sort of help them out with the cost involved with that. Is there a standard for that there with the foundation?
There isn't at this point in time. It's a good idea. Nobody's brought it up. And I think it is a good idea because some of this stuff gets, oppressive I
Yeah,
mean, particularly now. I mean, going to the conventions gets expensive now.
yeah,
And if we want people to be able to do these things, it might be that we expand our scholarship or our grant base to include some reimbursements that multiple District 19 can't do, for example,
right.
or because they don't have the money
Yeah,
for sending our leaders there, our people who are in the chain of leadership. That might not be a bad. It's a great idea, Al. Actually, I mean, we all, some of the other funding that MD19 does is we fund the border crossing and those kinds of things. We loaned money to MD19 when they didn't have it, so they could, replace the automobile from MD19, and that's been repaid. But we're looking for things that make sense to do service and leadership training, and or service and leadership projects, and certainly maybe we're just kind of looking over the top of our own leaders
yeah,
and
yeah,
should be looking at them instead. I like the idea.
yeah.
We need a bus.
A
A bus.
bus.
We need to I don't know, either own a bus or rent a bus for um a convention, okay, Canada, or for instance, Shannon wants to go to the Northwest Lions leadership, but for one, it's 6 to 8 hours away, depending on how fast she drives. And she's got no money to go there. And then I heard Christine from Eatonville who wants to take Shannon's place, so 2 years from now. But she's like, I don't have like a running checking account. So she's not sure she wants to be the associate and follow Shannon around this year so that she'll have money for the following year, which I get it.
Well, I
But
understand.
that would teach the zone, like the incoming zone chair would be good to have some kind of help so that they could go wherever, learn
Well,
before, not, I'm not saying look at a screen and have it go by you and what you can, read on the internet, but like hands-on kind of stuff.
the uh, that particular item with the institute has been under long discussion for as long as I've been involved, and the primary thing with the cost, the foundation provides most of the cost of that. But there's still sort of a thought that we need the student to be invested in this as well. And if we provide everything, all the costs involved, then there's no real incentive to actually dedicate yourself to actually make this thing operate. So there is a cost involved to the student, and I don't think that's ever going to go away.
Yeah, it's not high though,
No, no, certainly not.
particularly if you take the scholarship grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Getting there though, that's gas money. That's
Well, yeah,
yeah, but carpooling and those kinds of things. But
yep,
correct, it is a trip,
it is. Yeah, that's the other side of the state. Yeah, and it's
and
even
in
further for the
Idaho.
folks in northern British Columbia.
Yeah, yeah. Have them come down from Massachusetts. Other
Yeah.
questions? That was a
Uh,
good idea. I've actually made a couple notes here, June and Al. I think that's something we should talk about.
yeah, yeah. And it appears that maybe a lot of the folks that are considering these things, like the Institute, don't know about what the foundation has to offer, and maybe we need to do some better advertising.
We do. That is actually one of the key jobs of the trustee, which is to get out in his or her district and talk to the clubs and talk to the zones and district about the existence of this foundation and what is available. Craig Booth up in District I has done a great job of that, and he has. It's no coincidence that probably a good half of the grants that we put out last year went to school districts or projects in Chelan County, which is where he is. And he simply went out and started going to each of the school districts and saying, hey, what do you have in terms of leadership development that you might want to, that you can't do? And we started getting those kinds of things. And they've been starting to come in from other places. Some of our trustees are starting to take note of this, saying, there's a way to do this.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do, just to get people educated on what it is that the foundation does. And my time on the foundation, it will be coming to an end, in about 8 months, I guess, 9 months, which is okay. I mean, that's the way it works. We want to get people moving through the system. Al will be there for a good 2 years unless someone makes him president. Who knows?
What about JD? What about hearing devices, hearing screening devices? Ours are so old in this district, and we kind of do, I don't know, probably 1,200 kids a year. And plus you got to go to Paulsbo to get it.
Wait a minute. Is
You
that
can only,
hearing?
there's only so many. So if the teachers or schools want to get them in October and somebody else has them, or they all want them in September, it's kind of hard to,
Are
you
you
know,
talking about hearing or sight?
no, well, all the people, most of, let's say most of the school districts here have the site machines, the brand new ones. They
Oh,
make ours look, they're black and they're really
right.
cool. Now we do hearing for
Oh,
Bethel Schools and Franklin Pierce,
okay.
and their machines are old, really old.
Okay.
And there's not enough of them to go around. You figure Paulsbo, all of this part is using the same ones. So you've got to call in August before you know the schools even want it just to get them reserved.
Well, I have two thoughts. One is that this sounds like a Northwest Lands Foundation for Sight and Hearing project,
Right.
funding opportunity. But again, we are funding service projects and service and leadership development. So if a club is doing hearing as a service project and needs
Mhm.
funding for that, then that is a possibility. It might be worth considering. LCIF, I believe, has matching grants for this as well, if I
Our
recall
club is
correctly.
poor.
Yeah.
Well, we
So,
just got a $4,000 grant from the tribal Puyallup tribe, but they put certain stipulations on it, like an Easter egg hunt, and you got to use it within so many times and then give out back the rest, I guess. And I don't think George knew what George was writing down when he wrote it,
Well,
because I
every
say
grant
what?
that you get, no matter from what the organization, there's always going to be stipulations, requirements, reporting requirements, funds that have not been used must be returned. That's standard stuff. And the fact that your club or your district may be strapped for money, for most grant providers, that's really kind of irrelevant. What they're really looking for is the service you're going to provide
that's right.
and how the money is going to be used.
Yeah, we didn't put enough in there.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we got? Vance, you
Oh,
got a
JD,
question?
JD, I never knew about this Lions Foundation thing. Sorry, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. No, I didn't never knew about this thing about this, but it's good
right.
to know, and it's good about the grants. And you're right, we should need to market this idea to the other clubs. So I think that
Correct.
should be right up there, top priority, all the districts.
Here.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
We don't want to foolishly spend the money, but the people who gave the bequest didn't give it to us to sit on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And, if we run out of money, we'll go get some more.
You know, as a past council chair, there's a lot of things going on, and I'm kind of thinking there's probably got to be a way to provide for a past council chair vacation to Mexico. Is there a way to
You
do
go,
that?
guy.
I'd like to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to Canada too. The other direction you can.
I actually go to Canada quite often, 2 or 3 times a year. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're
You're not
close.
having a problem yet?
No,
Eh.
they know me at the border.
The border crossing or the truck stop?
I always go through the truck stop. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. Been
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I see your chat. I'm going through the chat now, Vance. You said what Vancouver, BC law firm I'm from? Well, I'm from Vancouver, Washington.
Okay. I work for a law firm in Vancouver.
Oh, are you a paralegal?
No, I'm just a computer help desk person.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, national law firm.
sure. Yeah,
All right.
all right, cool stuff.
Well, did we get there, Al? Did we do what you wanted?
I believe so, and I want to thank you for your time and expertise here tonight, JD. Do appreciate it. And keep in mind, if questions come up at a later time, by all means, even if JD is off the board, you can still contact him, and I'm sure he'll provide a good answer for you.
Absolutely. My contact information is there. It's also on the MD19 website.
All right.
I can be found, and I'm happy to help.
Indeed, indeed. Well, there being nothing further, again, I want to thank you all for connecting in this evening, especially you, JD. We do appreciate your time. And
Sorry to interruption, JD. Sorry to interruption. So I'm there at the website and I don't see your contact. Like, where does one click?
the contact's at the top right.
On the menu bar
My bad.
on the top.
Yeah.
I see now.
Yeah.
All right.
You
So,
got it?
you got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Contact
All right.
FAQ directors. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to stop the
Have you
recording.
figured out the bubbles yet?